Hey, what is going on everybody? It is Nolan, or the Optimistic Gamer here, and welcome to our very first look at the 1.21 Minecraft update. Now, this is kind of out of my wheelhouse doing videos on snapshots and pre-releases, but I figured since we have a survival series going, and since it adds a bunch of awesome new building blocks, we should go ahead and take a look at this. I'm here on the loading screen right now in one of the trial chambers, which we may or may not get around to checking out today. I know there have already been a countless number of videos on this, but I mostly want to look at some of the newer additions as we get very close to this update. So I'm going to go ahead and start up a world, and we will head in and start looking at this first pre-release for the trial, and I don't even remember the name of the update. I'm off to a great start. Anyway, I will see you in the world. So we are now loaded into the world. It looks like we have spawned in a desert, and of course, right away, nothing new jumping out at us. But if we open up our inventory and take a look at the building blocks, we can scroll down and we will see all of these brand new copper blocks. Of course, we have the copper grates, the chiseled copper, the copper bulb, and our copper doors and trapdoors as well. Many different variants of those, which is awesome. And then of course we also have the tough bricks and stairs and polished tuff. I am really excited about all of these. They are definitely very tough. And don't worry, that will be the only pun today. But I wanted to take a closer look at some of these because we will be working with these quite a bit in the Optimistic Survival series. Over here, no new colored blocks. If we scroll down the natural blocks, nothing too new in here either. Again, this is my first time really taking a look at this new update. It is still a little bit foreign to me. We do have a vault right here, and I think I might go into spectator mode, and we will see if we can find a trial chamber. And I see one right over here, so this, wow, these are massive. I wasn't expecting something this large. We can just go ahead and fly through it. Of course, we got a new advancement, Minecraft Trials. Now, I'm not actually going to try and conquer this or anything. I just want to take a closer look at it and just fly around and kind of see what is in store for us. I don't want to spoil too much though, but it looks like we have a lot of those new blocks, the tough bricks, the copper grates, and so on. Again, it is a very large structure, and I don't believe these are biome specific, but they do go all the way down basically to bedrock. These are just above bedrock. We are all the way down at negative 36, 38 looking at these very bottom blocks right here. So they are definitely very deep structures. But this will definitely be a fun adventure for us once we get into our survival world. Of course, I will have to update the chunks, and we may have to fly a little ways, but that shouldn't be a huge problem for us. And of course, one of our other new blocks, or weapons, I suppose, that we are adding is the mace right here. Now, I did see in the pre-release they changed the attack speed to make this 0.6, so it has a very slow attack speed, even slower than an axe and a shovel and all of these weapons and tools right in there. It also does just 6 attack damage. However, we have 3 different types of enchantments that we can put onto the mace. We have Breach 4, Density 5, and Windburst 3. Windburst 3 is going to create a blast of air when we hit a breeze right here. Apparently it's supposed to blast us back too, but I don't think it is really doing that all that much. Density 5, I believe this is the one that deals more damage when we fall from a certain height. So let's see if we can box this in. We'll go ahead and do it this method. This is a little bit easier. And we will jump up here and fall down onto that, and it is an instant kill. How about that? And if we fall down again, that deals a lot of damage. So that is a great enchantment. And then of course, the Breach enchantment is useful for a mob with armor. Okay, so I have a command to summon in a zombie with protection 4 netherite armor. So we are going to give this a try. I guess this would be the easiest way to do this. And the command was too long, so we are going to go with a command block. And we will paste that in. There we go, and now we should be able to flick that lever. Awesome, we now have a zombie with protection 4 netherite armor. We are going to give the Breach 4 mace a chance here to see if it can deal any or all damage to this zombie. I am not expecting it to deal a whole lot. Protection 4 is very strong, but we will see how this does. And that probably didn't do a whole lot. However, if we combine our Density 5 book with our Breach 4 mace, well, apparently we cannot do that. Well, maybe if we try jumping at it from above and give that a few hits. There we go, it took a couple of hits to kill it. Let's go ahead and spawn it one more time, and we will see if we can get it with a couple more hits from our mace. So that's one, and let's give it one more and see if it takes it out. There we go, a 2-hit kill with our mace for a zombie with full protection 4 netherite armor. And now let's try that same kill with a Density 5 mace and see if we can jump from a higher position and see if it takes the same number of hits. 2 hits, alright. It would be nice if I had heart so I could see. Nonetheless, these maces are very, very powerful if we use them from a certain height. But one of the other things I want to try now that we have this pre-release, and this was something that was added to the changelog that I saw this morning, is the ability to travel through nether portals while on an entity, either a horse or a minecart. So that is exactly what we are going to test. We will build a portal real quick, and we will step through it and see if we can pull this off successfully. So let's place down a few powered rails here and put a redstone block, and then travel back through our portal, and I think we can put those there as well. I'm going to switch into survival mode now because apparently when we do this, it does not show the loading screen. It will just tell, or it doesn't show the portal effect, it will just go straight to the loading screen. And it sure does, and that is very fast. So I don't know what we're going to be able to use this for, but I'm sure there are farms, I'm sure there are already a lot of farms being designed for this purpose. But that is pretty cool. The same thing also applies to horses. So we'll spawn in a horse and tame it real quick, and then we will put on, I grabbed horse armor, I meant to grab a saddle. We will put that on our horse, and we should be able to run through our nether portal. Of course, I'm still in creative. Let me switch back to survival. We should be able to run through very quickly. That is pretty convenient. Of course, I think we still have the standard portal loading effects when we are not on an entity. I wonder if this applies for boats. So let's place down our boat, and back in survival mode, we will see if we can travel through the portal, and it is instant once again. Well, I think in our survival series, I will just keep a boat right next to our portal so we can bypass that loading screen, because that is really nice. Of course, it may be a little bit of a hassle. Maybe a minecart would be a little bit easier. I'm sure we could set up a very simple contraption for that. Another thing that was added in the pre-release is the ability to do this. Look at that. We teleport right through the nether portal with our ender pearls. Of course, we have to be very careful when we use that. Well, sometimes it doesn't work. It is still early in its development. I do not blame them at all for that, but that is very nice. And finally, one of the last things that they are adding to 1.21 is double doors. Now, I don't know how we make double doors. Well, I can't seem to figure out what they meant by double doors. It just said that in the release notes, so if anybody knows what they are referring to, it could be something in the trial chamber, but I could not find any answers online, so if anybody knows, let me know in the comments. Maybe I am just misinterpreting something or missing something altogether. But that is where we are going to end this very short video on the first pre-release of 1.21. I'm very excited for this update, really looking forward to those tough building blocks. They are going to be very nice to have in our world, and we are going to have to start mining a lot of it in the Optimistic Survival series. But again, that is where we are leaving it for today. If you enjoyed it, definitely hit that thumbs up button, and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on daily content as soon as I publish it. Check the description for some more important information, links, how to contact me, all of that good stuff. And with all of that being said, comment, like, subscribe, remember to stay optimistic, and I will see all of you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Bye!